Good afternoon and welcome to this Wednesday check-in. Today I'm coming to you from inside the nave of the Cathedral. We're in the process of gearing up for the electoral synod, which will be headquartered here on September the 12th. The election will be presided over by our new Archbishop, David Edwards of Fredericton, for this ecclesiastical province of Canada, which takes in our own diocese, as well as the three dioceses that make up Newfoundland and Labrador, Fredericton, New Brunswick, Quebec, and Montreal. 11 different locations across our diocese will be used to gather delegates, and then we will all connect via Zoom to worship and to vote. I would ask you to keep in your prayers the people and parishes of our diocese in these challenging times as we discern a person to lead us into the future, and for those candidates who have offered themselves for consideration: Catherine Bobinaire, Carl Fraser, Sandra Fife, and Elliot Seitman. As I mentioned, we are set up here in the Cathedral proper, and now that we have the new recording equipment, we'll be doing our Sunday and weekday broadcasts from here. A letter will be sent out soon to the parish with details of when and how we will reopen for some limited in-person Sunday worship, but those services will also be broadcast from here. One of the things we've learned over these past several months is that the ability to be online has a great appeal. Some announcements for the coming week: a reminder of the Labyrinth in Victoria Park every Sunday, weather permitting, 12:30 to 3:30. You can walk and pray as you journey through the Labyrinth. Meditation online is available Monday evening, 6:30 to 7:30. No experience is necessary. You just need to email your request to get the link to the Zoom gathering. Send an email to, all one word, prayasucan3@gmail.com. Speaking of online programs, this message comes from Chris, our Cathedral coordinator for the Primates World Relief and Development Fund. It's an invitation to take in a Zoom webinar titled "There is Enough for All: Ending Hunger in Canada and Around the World." In this webinar, you'll be introduced to the concepts of food aid, food security, and food sovereignty, and see how these issues are being addressed in Canada and around the world. Michael Shapcott, Executive Director of the Sorrento Center, and Naba Goring, PWRDF's Humanitarian Response Coordinator, will share examples of projects that aim to reduce hunger. They will also explore what COVID-19 has revealed about hunger and what we can learn from it. From 2014 to 2016, the Primates World Relief and Development Fund and the Sorrento Center collaborated on the Sharing Bread Food Security Learning Exchange. The session for this webinar takes place September 1st, 2 p.m. Atlantic Time. You do need to register in advance for this meeting. The website is a long one, so I would suggest that if you're interested, you go on our website for the link. Once you have registered, you will receive a confirmation email containing the information about joining. Our congratulations go out to Pauline and Ronnie on the birth of a grandson, Micah. Micah was born last Thursday. And like so many that have been separated from family with travel restrictions, this is both a time of joy but one of great longing. Our prayers and best wishes to Micah and his parents. A word of thanks to Ray Carter and Dylan Stewart for looking after our church service on Sunday. For the first time ever, perhaps because I was away, the internet went down on Sunday morning. Dylan had the presence of mind to take the laptop home which had recorded the service and upload it from there. Thank you, Dylan. This week's song, poem, and prayer came as I was reminded of an arts project in our city called Poetry in Motion. It is a collaboration of the Halifax municipality, the public libraries, and the Writers' Federation of Nova Scotia. I've spoken over the past 6 months of the role of poetry and music in being something of a guiding light and source for healing and hope in times of uncertainty and stress. And this project seeks to put poetry into the public eye in places like transit ads on buses, digital signs at libraries, ferry terminals, and recreation centers, and on social media. To be eligible for Poetry in Motion, poems must be written by residents of Nova Scotia 16 years of age or older. The poems must be original, personal creations. This year, they received over 120 submissions from emerging and established writers across the province. The 10 poets that were chosen to have their works displayed this year are Laurie Nielsen-Glenn, Sue Goyette, Asha Jeffers, Nancy Lee, Vanessa Lent, Tiffany Morris, Nolan Natasha, Anna Kwan, Samantha Sternberg. Congratulations to them. You'll begin to see their poems popping up around the city in the coming weeks. So I've chosen a poem by one of this year's participants and a woman who was named in April of this year as our city's 8th Poet Laureate, Sue Goyette. Born in Sherbrooke, Quebec, Goyette grew up in St. Bruno on Montreal's South Shore. Her first poetry book, The True Names of Birds, was nominated for the 1999 Governor General's Award, the Pat Lothar Award, and the Gerald Lampert Award. Goyette's first novel, Lures, was nominated for the 2003 Thomas Head Riddell Award. She's written 6 collections of poetry, including Ocean, winner of the 2015 Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia Masters Arts Award. Goyette now lives in Halifax, where she teaches creative writing at Dalhousie University. The poem which I share is one that, in a kind of tongue-in-cheek way, speaks of our Canadian identity and our self-effacing tendency to apologize for who we are and who we are not. As our neighbors to the south gear up for an election and the national leadership conventions that precede it, it seems a fitting reminder that it's perhaps okay embracing who we are. It's called The Canadian Apology, from her book, Outskirts. We're sorry. We're so sorry, but we are sorry. It's a Canadian thing like tourtière or Irving. Picture a moose trudging through tundra towards another moose, antlers grazing maple trees that haven't been cut down yet, the snort of exertion, the clomp of intent. That's us trying to find each other in this wilderness so we can apologize for something. Standing too close, standing too far, being hard to find in the appointment thicket of our days. We're sorry one of us invented frozen fish fillets because single-portion frozen dinners invented a new loneliness. And the lonely bone, they say, is connected to the drinking bone. The rest, well, the rest is history. Our apologies are welcome mats and engagement rings, the tiebreaker in overtime, Pierre Burton's bow ties, meaningful. We take an eternity to back into a parking spot and then feel sorry for all the unparked cars still circling. We're even sorry for feeling a little lucky. As though having a pocket full of loonies is a good thing here, it sounds like something we should apologize for. We roll up the rim to win at the same place we see Jesus miraged on the wall beside the drive-through window. We are sorry, though, for our A's, our toques, about a boot. We're sorry for the poutine, but not for our beer or Leonard Cohen. We tap our trees and drink from there. We understand then what it's like to blossom, though we don't speak of this. The sky is such a choir here. We're sorry how scared we get when our love sees its own shadow, how we disappear for a long season. We wish we could, but often we can't. Désolé, désolé, we try. Our apologies are foghorns in the great sea of social gatherings where we pass each other like tankers gliding by the shore of an all-you-can-eat buffet. I'm truly sorry for that last line. The poet, John Thompson, said, "We are brave at our kitchen tables, brave in our beds, but cowards under the moon." We are sorry for that as well. The moon has a way of calling us out from our homes, and we stand beneath its whiteness, stripped of nerve. The trees are an endangered silence then witnessing. Winter is a mystery. The night breathes us in and waits for what we have to say for ourselves. The shift must happen now, transformation. Our apologies, braver, migrating into the realm of reprieve when we hear ourselves say, "Forgive us," and then, "What can we do?" Sue Goyette, The Canadian Apology. Now this week, the poem inspired the song instead of the other way around. One of my favorite contemporary singer-songwriters is a young man by the name of Michael Rosenberg. Rosenberg was born on the 17th of May, 1984, in East Sussex, England, to Quaker parents. Rosenberg learned classical guitar at a very young age, and at around 15 started to write his own songs. He worked as a chef and spent his spare time writing music and practicing guitar. Rosenberg left school at the age of 16 to pursue a career in the music industry and spent the next few years as a busker in England and Australia. At the age of 16, he formed a band called Passenger, and together they produced an album called Wicked Man's Rest, which was released in 2007. In 2009, the band broke up, but Rosenberg continued on as a solo artist, continuing under the name Passenger. In a chance encounter with a DJ from a radio station in the Netherlands while busking, one of his songs received airplay and became a regional hit, launching his career. He now spends his time writing and touring internationally, sometimes with one of his best longtime friends, a man by the name of Ed Sheeran. This spring, he released his 11th studio album. From the album of the same name, the song picked for today is Whispers by Passenger. It too speaks of the challenges of life's journey, the quest for meaning and purpose, and the need for listening to the still, small voice in a world that all too often just shouts for our attention. Some of the lyrics read, "Well, it's hard to find a reason when all you have is doubts. Hard to see inside yourself when you can't see your way out. Hard to find an answer when the questions won't come out. Everyone's filling me up with noise. I don't know what they're talking about. You see, all I need's a whisper in a world that only shouts." The song Whispers by Passenger. As a prayer, here is one based on Jesus' calling of Matthew the tax collector to leave behind his life and embark on a new calling, a new direction into the unknown. The prayer is written by John Birch and is reminiscent of the question posed by the writer of Psalm 121, who asks, "I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where is my help to come from?" Let us pray. O God, in my journeying with you, may I never lose my sense of direction, never lose sight of the landmark towards which I travel. And should cloud or rain obscure my vision, may I draw closer to you, so that my feet may tread in your footsteps, your words be my encouragement, and your love my protection against the storms that assail me. Amen. Keep in touch, stay safe, and keep the faith until we meet again.